Hey guys, it's your boy Leo's Animation here, and today we're going to be reacting to more animators because a lot of animators posted new videos while I was gone, and I missed a lot of that. So, without further ado, let's get back into it because in last video I reacted to Animation and Infamous Swoosh's new video. So this is kind of like a part 2 version. So yeah, let's get into it. First one, Jaden Animation, talking about my cat again. Well, here's one fun fact. My mom hates cats. Like when she sees them, she just runs away. I'm cool with cat, but I'm just scared that they're just gonna jump me and you can see like scratch marks all over my face.
I was really surprised with how many people enjoyed hearing about Tostada. Like, there were a lot. So it's about time I tell more stories because she somehow got...
Wait, is my audio going great right now?
A few moments later.
Okay, my audio's normal.
even more creaturous since the last video. Tostada...
wild animals stuff.
We can say she's gotten very needy, as well as very comfortable with using her voice. There's been plenty of times where I'll be working in silence until she waltzes into the room and disturbs the peace by meowing and yelling to beg for attention. I always give in whether I have the time or not, but it's unintentionally taught her that if she just gets louder,
oh my God.
She can get her scratches. By being kind, I've created a very pathetic and loud cat. Sometimes Tostada will walk into the other room, get confused that no one is around, and start echolocating for help until I shout for her, to which she prances happily into the room as if she wasn't just distraught. I don't know if she does this because she actually is lost, or she just wants to hear me call for her, but it happens multiple times a night. Once Tostada was downstairs and howling for me to call her, so I walked out to the area above the stairs where she could see me, but something must have not connected right in her little brain, because instead of going up the stairs that she goes up and down every day, I watched her blank little eyes glaze over, trying to compute what to do. Mom's up there, Tostada's down here. Tostada wants to go up to Mom. Walking forward doesn't go up. Mom's making circles with her hand, pointing. Don't understand. Tostada wants to go to Mom. She forgot going up the stairs takes her upstairs.
Oh my God.
If she really needs my attention and howling nonstop hasn't worked, Tostada started pawing at me. She's really not all that coordinated, so I'll be doing something and suddenly feel the shakiest little paw on my arm. One morning I woke up to a shaky paw on my face. So guess how I wake up every single day now? Tostada loves to lay on my computer.
The cat is your alarm clock now. Great.
Because it's so warm, but since her balance is so god-awful, she's fallen off way too many times for me to believe she's got any sense of cause and effect. Normally, she'll notice just a moment too late and struggle to catch herself in whatever pitiful way she can. But the most recent time, she just did not wake up at all and bounced off the floor like a bowling ball. Poor thing opened her eyes and all she could muster was a confused little... At some point, Tostada realized she absolutely loves getting little head kisses, so she comes over and begs for them multiple times a day. This is very cute, and I love giving them to her, but there was a time I was too busy to stop what I was doing, so after meowing and shaky pawing, she discovered a new way to ask for attention, standing directly in front of my face and headbutting me in the mouth. I don't know how she consistently innovates new ways to get me to pay attention to her, but can't connect the brain wires to remember how to leave a room by herself. We discovered that she has a favorite Pokemon. When Tostada isn't sitting on my neck with her heavy-ass paws or falling off my computer, she's typically at her follow-up spot, which is curled up on my life-size Furret plush. I have a Furret sitting behind a few other plushes up against a window, so I think it was the perfect setup for her to feel safe and secluded while also being able to look out the window to chirp at the birds and squirrels outside. side,
nice.
which is really cute. I didn't realize cats could do that. Eventually, I think she just started associating Furret as a bed because she started sitting on another Furret plush I own. Tostada loves Furret a lot. It's her favorite and it's adorable. So one of her favorite things to do is sniff. I know it's a common cat thing, but Tostada outsniffs the other cats combined by an insane margin, and for really no reason other than it brings her joy. I've walked around our home with Tostada held up as high as I can get her so she can explore all the scents she's too small to experience.
Oh, cool, Miku. Okay. Wait, that doesn't seem right.
Hey, yo, what?
Okay, sorry. The reason why I said that because imagine if it's an actual person, then that doesn't seem right. But hey, at least Jaden's cat acts like a dog. I mean, dogs are pretty good at sense of smells, but Jaden's cat is just built different. Her cat, like, can smell anything.
I can tell she enjoys it because she purrs real loud the whole time in between inhales. And I've somehow taught her the command wanna sniff. I'll say it while stretching out something new and she happily prances over to take giant whiffs for a little too long. Tostada particularly enjoys sniffing freshly sipped water bottles. I'll take a swig and somehow she spawns next to me with her peepers, knowing I know what she wants. I swear I don't have bad breath though. Don't spin it in that direction. My breath is fine and minty and fresh. It's the cat that's abnormal. There's only one scent she despises, and that's orange juice. Apparently, cats have a natural aversion to citrus in general, but it feels like it hits Tostada harder than average because she makes the most upset, betrayed face before running out of the room. Despite knowing the scent of orange juice and knowing she doesn't like it, she still comes over and begs to take a whiff every time orange juice is in the cup because she's completely blinded by her love of sniffing water. The result is always the same. It's like watching her be prisoner to her own mind. But one fateful day, Jacob and I witnessed Tostada encountering something even more potent and evil than orange juice. We were cleaning up the kitchen from hanging out with some friends the night before. Tostada jumped onto the counter and
I swear, if it's actually wine or beer, then I would be laughing like hell or something.
spotted something she's never seen before. An open bottle of alcoholic margarita
What did I say?
mix. Before we could even warn her, she hopped on over, took a sniff of the opening, and I crossed my heart, I'm not exaggerating, did a backflip in revulsion. Part of me felt like I failed as a cat parent to protect this innocent thing from the horrors of what true stench could look like. And the other part of me was just laughing on the floor. It was so funny. You guys already know Tostada's super paranoid with noises. There's not a single sound she doesn't think means instant threat. But I should mention there's an asterisk because for some reason, any noise I make is completely fine. Jacob scoots the chair a bit, deer in headlights. I open mouth sneeze in her face, must have been the wind. A plush falls off the shelf and lands softly on the carpet, running for her life. I suddenly burst out into a coughing fit, doesn't even care, doesn't care. Those examples
Well, your cat's gonna get sick.
might actually, to be fair, be related to the fact Tostada loves when I get sick. Even though I'm coughing and hacking and sniffling at full volume, the only thing she cares about is that I'm in bed all day, which means she gets to cuddle way more than normal. I really enjoy it. She keeps me company while I sit there rotting and watching movies all week. The only complaint I get from her is if I cough a little too long, she gives me a side eye like I'm ruining our awesome little relaxation day together. But yeah, besides that, this cat is scared of everything else that does not pertain to me. When I got the Tostada plush in the mail, she actually hated it and wouldn't go anywhere near the thing. Her tail got real big and fluffy and her eyes somehow got even rounder as she froze in fear for her survival against herself. Apparently, she wasn't the only one. A bunch of my friends also said their cats hated the Tostada plush. My overall findings estimated around a 50-50 split on whether a cat will love the Tostada merch.
Okay, I mean, let me point that out. I don't know why Tostada actually I don't know why Tostada is actually afraid of her own self, but let me try explain the reason why. Is it because like the look of the plushie? I mean, it looks like it.
Plush or try to gouge out its jugular. I unironically think the giant cartoon eyes perfectly trigger their built-in instincts to say this stuffed animal is a giant predator. So all I'm saying is if you get the Tostada plush that's now an evergreen product on my merch site, just to see if your cat is a Tostada lover or hater, you'd be contributing to the community field research. It was a bit too hot out last summer, so I turned on my ceiling fan for the first time.
Okay.
Tragically, since Tostada's never seen it move before, she was petrified and refused to come into my bedroom anymore.
Oh.
Normally, her fears don't interrupt
Looks like
her
something
or
that will
my
kill
daily
her.
life, but I was really upset she wouldn't fall asleep curled up on me anymore. The fear of the in-motion fan overpowered her love of bedtime, and it was a dark period for the household. Eventually, I was able to condition her to the fan, but she still needs to look directly at it for a bit every once in a while to make sure it isn't gonna fall down and slice us into cubes.
Yeah.
How ironic it is that my birds, who can be killed by a ceiling fan, have no fear of them at all, but my cat, who cannot be killed by the ceiling fan, needed exposure therapy. I think the
my
objectively
God.
wackiest thing Tostada is actively terrified of is Frasier after he gets a haircut. Once a year, we take Frasier to get his fur shaved down because it gets way too long for him to
my
take care
goodness.
of, and he quite literally will try to slit our wrists if we try to brush him. It's been the best system that works for all of us, excluding Tostada, because she suddenly doesn't recognize him anymore in the slightest and is horrified at the scary new intruder in her home. From her point of view, she witnesses her best friend get hauled out the door and go missing for an hour until some strange ugly freak comes in to replace him, and no one seems to care. The first time this happened, Tostada was so distraught that she actually hissed at him, and up until that point she hasn't hissed at anything, so I knew she was going through levels of distress she's never experienced in her tiny sheltered life. We would try to mediate and help her realize the scary flat cat was actually her buddy Frasier all along. Tostada, you love Frasier. He's been around all your life. You cuddle on the couch together all the time. Just take a sniff. I assume it's probably the shampoo that the groomer uses that washes away Frasier's familiar scent. And then, of course, he looks different. So nothing about Frasier is recognizable to Tostada at all anymore. We quite literally have to wait out an entire week for him to grow his fur back out a little and have his natural smell return. Of course, Frasier is very vain, so he takes a hit to his ego every time Tostada freaks out and runs away from him. We watched so many times as he tries to show her that he's the same old Frasier. He'll sit in the doorways of rooms she's in, slowly try to approach and get close to her, but every time is the same story. It's not a great week for anyone. Despite Tostada's fears and general anxiety.
Oh my goodness, this is some nightmare fuel. Okay, this is like when somebody gets injured so bad, you ended up cannot even recognize him. Like, this dude needs plastic surgery to fix his facial expressions or whatever.
Just look at him. A normal, ugly-looking child. And now look at him! A hideous freak of nature! Unrecognizable! Looking like that, he will never get married and he'll never have a job.
There is a ray of hope amongst it all. I have no idea how or why, but Tostada gets brave at night. We could have friends over all day and not see a single Tostada sighting, but once the clock strikes 9 p.m., suddenly there's a little silhouette staring at us from the doorway. As long as it's nighttime and the noise is bearable, Tostada will come out to greet and sniff and rub up on the people she was previously terrified of for reasons I have yet to understand. I know cats like to be active at night and stuff, but Tostada seemingly sheds all her shyness and crippling anxiety in an instant and becomes a completely different cat. My only working hypothesis is that she gains strength knowing her beloved bedtime is right around the corner, and that somehow acts as a bit of newfound courage. But I don't know. I just really think she somehow decided nighttime was safe, and there's no reason behind it because her brain is an enigma. I'm glad she can defeat the voices, though. We always make sure she gets lots of hugs and kisses every time, so it really encourages her. All right, so a bit ago, Tostada was wheezing every once in a while, so I took her to the vet, who diagnosed her with light bronchitis. I assume it was because she went through a phase where she would eat dust. They prescribed her some antibiotics, and it was then my responsibility to make sure she eats a pill twice a day for the next week. As you can imagine, being that this was Tostada's first time having medicine, it was not gonna be easy for both of us. The first attempt was a learning experience. I managed to get the pill in her mouth and did the little trick where you rub a cat's throat to make sure they don't spit it back up. But since I just gave her the pill with no treats or anything, I watched as she gagged at the taste of it for a bit. It was not easy to look at.
I remember that feeling. I remember when I first had medicine, a couple one was good, but after that one medicine would treat like my vomit or something, I don't even know what kind of medicine is that, but it tastes like so horrible. Like, oh my god.
I felt really bad. Determined to try and give her a better experience, I decided to put the pill in a small ball of cheese. You know, cats love a little cheese treat. Except Tostada, because of course she's not normal in even that regard. This so-called cat hasn't showed a single shred of interest in human food ever, because I don't think it registers in her mind what we eat is also food she could technically also eat, and it objectively tastes better in every aspect. It's been great because she never begs for food, unlike others. But now, when I present to her...
Wait, what the heck? Hold up. I'm hungry. Please, please, please. This cat looks like he's about to eat this cat. I swear, if it does, then that results in cannibalism.
But now, when I present to her a tasty cheese ball with absolutely no antibiotics in it, she has no idea what to do with it. Eats dust and gives herself bronchitis, but doesn't want to eat cheese. So I was left to force feed cheese twice a day to the only animal in the world that doesn't want cheese. She's all better now, and I would bet money she's forgotten all about the week where I suddenly turned evil for no reason. But walking into her presence with a cheese ball made me feel like I was dragging her down to hell twice a day. Jacob and I were going on a long road trip and planned on taking the cats with us. Taylor and Fraser have experienced both being in a car and being in a car for an extended amount of time before, but we knew poor Tostada was gonna struggle. The main question was, how upset was she gonna be? Tostada is a homebody. She has no desire to ever leave the house, does not want to experience anything new, hates anything that has to do with outside. If it were up to her, every day would be the exact same, everything would be controlled and predictable, zero adventure at all, forever and ever, because she has no concept of time and death. We knew ripping her away from her beloved home.
So that's one reason why Tostada couldn't really touch grass.
Just for a bit to sit in a loud, scary vehicle that carries her further and further away from the world she's so attached to would be not her preferred way to spend the day. We packed up the cats in their carriers and didn't even get fully out the door until Tostada let out the loudest howl I believe a cat can physically make.
My goodness.
This might be the worst day of her entire life. On the road, we let them out of their carriers so they could be as comfortable as possible. Fraser sat on the middle console as if he was a co-pilot to the ride. Taylor sat in the back on top of all her snacks and bags, creating her own little cove of solitude. And Tostada hid in the dark under the dusty seat. After a few hours with not a single peep or sign of life, I decided to drag Tostada out from under the chair, both to try and convince her to sit with the rest of us and also do a wellness check for my own sake. I peeled her out from the floor and... Oh my god, are you crying? Tostada's humongous eyes were wet and glossed over, and she had a single tear running down her cheek. This poor thing was so heartbroken over the car ride, she was defying her biology and crying tears of sorrow. This absolutely was the worst day of Tostada's life. She will never be able to understand how lucky she is that the worst thing to ever happen to her is a ride in the car. After a while...
Wait, we'll work for what now?
She is...
We'll work for a cheeseburger. Oh my goodness.
To her is a ride in the car. After a while, she did start emerging to look out the window and wander a bit before going back under for a few more hours. Maybe she was just checking if she'd somehow been magically teleported back home before slinking back under the chair to wallow. But at least she wasn't crying alone on the floor anymore. The sun started setting and the day was fading away as we drove onwards until... Oh. Hi, Tostada. What's got you climbing around and exploring? Oh my god, she's brave at night, even in the car. I just do not know what comes over Tostada at night. At this point, I don't think there's a single thing she'll back down from as long as the moon and stars are out. She was hopping around to all the windows, even though she couldn't see anything because it was all pitch black now. Happily climbed over to the passenger seat to sniff around, started meowing and chatting up a storm, kept trying to weasel her way into my lap to take a closer look at the gas pedal. Despite me knowing everything...
God. That's a bad idea. Imagine she actually... Speak English, man. Imagine she accidentally, like, hit the brakes. Well, if it's the brakes, then, it's fine. But if it's the booster, oh, damn. Jaden wouldn't be making this video if she actually did.
About this cat. Every habit, every trait, every quirk, downloaded and forever locked into my mind. I just don't understand how. How is she her own being? She has her own little consciousness in that smaller than average skull of hers that makes her live her own life and makes her own decisions.
Oh, wait, what? Did that bird just... Oh my god, this bird is just... You know what? That's fine. That's fine. This bird is a motherfucker.
Decisions, even though they're very dumb. She shares the same world I do, and yet she digests it so differently. How can a creature like her even exist? And how did I get so fortunate to be the one that has her? Tostada experiences so many pointless fears and harmless anxieties that are gonna stick with her until her final days. But her unwavering happiness and joy pierces through all of it effortlessly. And it makes me so proud knowing I'm the one that's giving her this perfect little life. Every day I think about how lucky I am to have the perfect cat made for me. No one else could possibly understand and treasure her more. Tostada was simply meant to be mine. And we make each other so happy.
That's
if you haven't
cute.
seen, the new merch is still technically available. We worked hard to put together a really fun lineup of new Tostada and Ari plush keychains, Hawaiian shirt, beach towel, and fanny pack. It all goes away on August 10th, which as of right now, if you're me posting this video, is in a few days. So you should probably run over to jadenanimations.com right now if you're even thinking about grabbing anything. Just a peek won't hurt, right? Thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed me just talking about my pitiful little cat again. I will tell her that you all say hello. All right, bye-bye.
All right, cool.
I was really...
Oh, shoot. All right, next animator. Okay, so now we're at Rainbow Rager's video. If you don't know who Rainbow Rager is, well, Rainbow Rager is also a fellow animator that I talked about back when her loss of her brother gave me deja vu of my loss of my grandpa. So here we are. I became a Fadanchi. What the heck is a Fadanchi? Oh my... Ah! So it's the confession of the Ron Boy type of song or stuff, cause oh my god, bro. Oh, got the Nintendo Switch there. Oh, okay, this looks kind of a... Oh, that's a new intro. I kind of like the old profile picture, in my opinion, so yeah.
Okay, so before anyone gets the wrong idea, let me just preface by saying that I don't really want to use the term Fudanshi for myself. It's just that considering what I went through recently, I guess you could call me that, but I don't want to be like, oh, look at me, I'm a proud Fudanshi now. It's just that this is what came to be and now I'm going through with it. Man, me from like 4 years ago would have never thought that I'd ever become this kind of person. Or maybe I did and I just didn't think it actually happened for real. but I guess people change. Now, in case any of you guys don't know what fudenshi means, it's a Japanese term that refers to a male person that loves BL content. BL stands for boys love, a typical romance genre depicting two guys falling in love. It's a pretty spicy genre.
I'm pretty much concerned that this is something have to do with LGBTQ. Like, honestly, me seeing anime boys being gay to each other is kind of disgusted in my opinion. Like, if it's boys and girls love, it's fine, but hey, I'm not saying I'm not being homophobic.
The female counterpart of this term is fujoshi, a female person that loves BL content. That term is a lot more popular and well known since, well, most women in this world are into men. Now, again, just to set the record straight, for most of my life, I've never actually been a huge fan of anime or BL. I mean, I've seen it before, and I'm obviously well aware of it, since anime in general is so damn popular, even outside of Japan. One thing about anime that I've been able to appreciate is the art style. Maybe some people don't like it, but I've had a strong love for anime art styles because it's such a clean and cute style to draw characters. Of course, there are some anime styles that I don't like, but if I can find an anime art style that I genuinely think looks good, I will probably be drawn to it. Drawn to it. But seriously, if I like the art style, I'll probably want to watch it. But that never actually happened. I've never had the motivation to watch a full anime series and become invested in the story that much. Since
I did, actually.
I guess it's just who I am. I have difficulty getting into new shows because going in them blind requires conscious effort, which means the only way for me to get into new shows, especially anime, is to find some series that I just naturally click with. It turns out that that day finally happened. So there's one particular anime that I would like to talk about more in depth, and this anime is actually what got me into anime and BL as a whole, but I would be lying if I said that that was the first anime I ever watched.
Psych.
Because it's not technically true. There were 2 BLs that I watched a few years ago, and the reason why I'm only now saying that I'm a fudenshi is because these 2 BLs weren't strong enough to get me into more BL. I kind of just watched them, enjoyed them, and moved on. In fact, they actually kind of hindered me from getting into more because I already got so attached to the pairings that I couldn't expand my heart enough to more. So I just stopped myself. No, I already found love. I can't open my heart big enough. Anyway, the 2 BLs I watched a few years back were Umibe no Etranger and Dokusei. I watched Umibe first and then Dokusei.
Hey, let me tell you guys the anime that I watched. So, I remember watching Devil May Cry Season 1. I remember watching Cyberpunk. Horimiya. And I didn't really finish the 4th anime that my one friend recommended me to watch. So, yeah, because since I'm single, I'm not really into romance show or any of that. So, yeah.
How I even found out about Umibe is that I once found a screenshot of the anime and I wanted to watch it because the art style was appealing to me. See what I mean about before? The art style is what really does drag me in. I really liked watching Umibe for the first time. It was pretty relaxing to listen to. Great soundtrack, although the plot was kind of confusing. I guess it was too difficult to squeeze an entire story into 1 hour. And then I found out about Dokusei since it's also a pretty popular BL.
Wait. I need to search that up. Tell me if that's male and female. If it's both male, then, you know what? I have nothing in common to say. Oh my god. Nope. No, I'm actually... And this is one reason why I prefer to watch regular romance and not some type of stuff that has to deal with fudanshi or anything.
Story into 1 hour, and then I found out about Dokusei since it's also a pretty popular BL. Cute story, but kind of confusing, but a lot more kissing, I'll add that. I'm not going to go too in-depth with what the plot is all about, you can check that out yourself, but my point is, these were the first BLs I ever actually watched. It's not necessarily significant to what I'm about to get into, but I think it's best that I add these 2 in here because they're relevant to the topic.
Oh my goodness.
Well, these animes are special to me since they were truthfully my first animes. What made these so easy to get into is because they're only 1 hour movies, which makes them easier to finish, as they're anime adaptations of the beginning of the manga, which cuts the story down to just its first part and I could get a good idea of how the story is meant to play out. And yes, the story does continue in the manga. In fact, there are several volumes that continue their story, but I cannot be bothered enough to find those volumes. As long as it's not tragic and the boys remain in love, I do not care. Alright, with that out of the way, it's time for me to get more in detail about one specific anime that I've recently watched, and it is the anime that really hooked me into BL. In this case, it's not a 1-hour movie, it's a 13-episode series, and this BL is very unique compared to your typical BL. It's not one of those emotional, corny, romantic, we love each other so much kind of trope. What I like about it is that it actually portrays queer love so goddamn realistically. The anime is Go For It, Nakamura. One day I was scrolling on my YouTube feed and I got this thumbnail recommended to me. Just by looking at it, I immediately clicked it. Art style, and it looks like BL. The anime is of Okuto Nakamura, a shy gay high school boy who has a crush on another boy, Aiki Hirose. The story plays out entirely in Nakamura's perspective, so we see everything from his point of view. Throughout the entire series, Nakamura attempts, and mostly fails, to get Hirose's attention to become his friend and spend time with him, and a lot of the time his failures are a mixture of comedy and secondhand embarrassment. Along the way, he goes through multiple obstacles to get with Hirose, such as Nakamura being really shy and nervous around him, Hirose's friends getting in his way, which are Omori, Hirose's childhood friend, Mukai and Takeuchi, Hirose's high school friends that he hangs out with the most, and Matsumura, Hirose's middle school friend that apparently has even more of a crush on Hirose than Nakamura.
Oh
and the
my
worst
god.
of all, the potential of someone getting with Hirose before Nakamura can. It's a really well done anime as it checks out so many boxes. It's enjoyable, comedic, emotional, has an amazing soundtrack, and has a fully fledged story. This is actually an anime adaptation, but the manga never actually got completed as it has been on hiatus for years. But the good news is that the anime definitely did this manga so much justice. Typically, it's always the original book that does better, but this time it's the opposite. They changed so much in this anime compared to the original, and you know what? The changes made it so much better. The plot feels more organized, there's actually some development, while the charm of the original still remains true. There are a few specific things about this anime that I'd like to talk about, and they're things that I feel like I deeply relate to. First of all, in episode 2, we learned that Nakamura gets advice to talk to Hirose by reading BL manga.
I have nothing
his
to
favorite
say
one
at this
called
point.
Lovable Lunches,
Don't
which
mind
is
me.
hilarious and also super adorable. Nakamura is also a certified fudenshi. But that's not all. In episode 10, Nakamura goes to a signing booth for Lovable Lunches since the manga is getting an anime adaptation. Wow, that's a parallel to this anime itself. And gets to meet the mangaka, the author, to get a signed copy of the manga. What I love about this scene is that it deeply relates to me, kind of like how you get to meet your idol at a convention. And a detail I like about this is that the lineup for the signing is mostly women, while the mangaka is a man. Which again, proves that BL is typically made for women. But the fact that they made the mangaka a man, this really gives Nakamura a sense of understanding. Nakamura completely stands out from the crowd since he's the only guy, but since the mangaka is a man, it's almost like he understands Nakamura, which likely hints that the mangaka is also queer, and that whatever Nakamura is going through, having to be a shy gay teenager, the mangaka relates to him, and I really like that symbolism. Not really sure if that was intentional, but I'm just glad they didn't make the mangaka a woman. The second thing I'd like to bring up is what happens in episode 12 near the finale. This episode completely broke the entire fan base, including me, so spoiler alert. What happens in this episode is that Nakamura finds out that Hirose is dating a girl, Hana. Nakamura falls into a bit of heartbreak and devastation, yet he still wishes for Hirose to be happy because he knows that Hirose's happiness should be prioritized. This scene is incredibly painful to watch, and it especially hits hard when you're queer. What I love about this anime is that it perfectly portrays a queer person living in a heteronormative society where your sexuality is disgraced toward the minority. Nakamura realizing that Hirose has a girlfriend gives Nakamura that interpretation that Hirose is likely straight, and Hirose will never get with Nakamura because he's straight. And I'm sure this is an experience many queer people have, the fear that your crush is likely straight and will never reciprocate because most people are straight and you'll never have the chance to be with that person. But what hurts the most is this scene, the part that has Nakamura walking home surrounded by heterosexual couples. This is really good symbolism as it shows how much of an outsider Nakamura is to the majority of the world. It hurts so damn much, but it's the truth of today's world. That episode breaks me down every time, but it's so well done, I can't even hate it. After watching that anime and getting to the finale, I can safely say that this anime is definitely a turning point for me. Considering how much it resonates with me and how many times I am willing to support my love for it, I now feel a lot more comfortable and motivated to watch other anime, specifically the BL kind. So far, I already got into Sasaki and Miyano, and I have a few more planned to watch after, such as Given, The Summer Hikaru Died, and Cherry Magic. I know this.
Wait, hold up.
Summer Hikaru Died isn't technically a BL from what I've heard, but it's still kind of BL as it focuses on queer topics. Either way, I am literally turning into a fudanshi, and honestly, I'm not even going to stop myself anymore. So, normally when I make videos, I try to keep the topics strictly general because I like being able to talk about topics that I think a lot of people can relate to, rather than a specific fan base. But considering that my connection to anime has been becoming so much bigger as of late, I think it's good for me to get my own words out there about more specific things rather than the general idea. So, allow me to make the takeaway message something that everyone can relate to. It doesn't have to be BL or anime, but I really think that if there's something that you've always wanted to try and never got to because you're not motivated enough, you should still go for it, like what Nakamura did. There have been so many things that I could have gotten into earlier if I just didn't intentionally push myself away from it due to the fear that I'll hate it in the end. But really, there's no way of telling until you actually try it. I mean, I've never been into reading growing up. I always found reading boring and a difficult task.
Yeah, same,
But then I found some books that genuinely got me curious, and now I enjoy it. The same thing happened between me and anime. It just has to happen naturally, unless disciplining yourself harshly will actually get you into it. Whatever works. The point is, you really should be open to trying new things. You don't have to like every new thing you've done. You don't have to try everything just for the sake of trying it. But at least you get the experience, unless it's something bad like smoking. Please don't ever smoke.
Oh, no.
I've been holding off on it.
Don't do that.
Years because I always thought anime was weird and toxic, and I'm sure some anime or fandoms are like that, but there could be some good ones out there. Just because you like one doesn't mean you should like all. Just because you hate one doesn't mean you should hate all. And that's what I got out of anime. I enjoyed watching anime, which means I can enjoy anime. And I plan on enjoying anime more and more. To become the fudanshi.
Okay, so that's the end. Moving on. Okay, so before we move on to the next video, I want to do a quick base cover of The Confession of the Rotten Girl because the video we reacted just now is just talking about Fudanshi, and this song is basically about Fujashi. It's basically Fudanshi, but like the opposite kind, if you know what I'm saying. So how about this? If this video gets 5 likes because of this bass cover scene, I will do a full bass cover on my music channel. Or I'm going to make this into a short, and if the short gets 5 likes, I will still do the same thing. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Dear God, I scantily bent my sins. Let your blood wash me clean and fine.
Next one, Juna. My Japanese school rules were weird. Well, how weird could it be? Let's get into it. Nani? What's happening? Oh.
Good morning, everyone. Stop there. Take off that jacket. What? Why me? Everyone else is wearing a jacket. Yes, but that jacket you're wearing is making too much noise when you move. It'll disturb the class, so please take it off.
What? How does that make any sense? How is that physically possible?
Okay. What the language? Well, what am I supposed to do then? Light up a fire and make soup to keep myself warm? Do that. Fine. I'll just make the whole school.
Hey, chill.
Okay, only that last part didn't actually happen. I promise, guys. Believe me. I absolutely love the time I spent at my Japanese school, but in all seriousness, whoever made my school rules needs therapy. Some of this doesn't make sense to me. Or maybe you hate kids, I don't know. I got into trouble so many times for just acting like a normal good kid. Like how one time I'm still pissed about is how the teacher called in my parents because of 3 coins. 3 coins! You know how kids like to collect pebbles and other smaller things? I like to collect Japanese coins because the 1 yen coin feels like plastic and the 5 yen one has a hole in it, and I thought they looked funny. One time, I left it on my table for a while, only to come back and find out that my money was gone. Did I just get robbed? No. Actually, the teacher had confiscated my coins and called my parents over $0.043 worth of money. I felt like a criminal. The teacher handed over my coins to my parents as if it was drugs. As she said a couple of words that haunted me until this day. Dame. Dame means you can't do that. And fun fact, that was the first word I ever learned in Japanese. I must have been a pretty good kid that caused no trouble. Anyways, it was not...
Yeah, I learned that word before. I also learned that one Japanese sentence, which it's kind of like a Japanese girl moaning or something. It's basically called Yamete kudasai, means stop it, please.
The last time I heard the word dame, class started. I prepared my materials on the table. My special notebook, oversized pencil, my pocket shuriken, and of course, something I couldn't live without. My dame. What? Dame desu. My water bottle? Yo, sensei, you can't be for real, man.
Bro, what did she do? Honestly, I want to ask, why? Naze desu ka? Did I say that correctly?
I didn't actually talk like that. Yeah, I am for real. Get your water bottle at the back of the class just like the others.
Oh
she also
my
didn't
God.
talk like that.
Oh
From what
my
I
God.
researched, some Japanese schools think that it's too distracting to other students if you keep your water bottle next to you and drink during class. I'm sorry, but isn't the whole point of bringing a water bottle to school to keep it next to you so you don't have to keep going out of the class or...
And stay hydrated. Okay, let me tell you guys a story. So my school doesn't care about having a water bottle right on your table or anything. And if you need to drink water, just feel free to drink it. But during my primary school, it's a little strict. If you had to drink water, you had to ask permission to drink water. So you're telling me if you had to get hydrated, you had to ask permission to get hydrated? What if the students actually just die from dehydration? I'm just speechless of that one rule where you had to ask permission to drink water.
Stopping the lesson to ask permission to drink water and then
Can I
disturb
drink
the class.
water?
Even as a kid, I was baffled by this, but I was completely
Wait, no,
underestimating
that says, can I drink water? I don't know.
how much Japan took not disrupting the class seriously. Like on that day at the start of the winter, when the teacher demanded all the students who were wearing windbreaker or loud jackets to take them off, I was shivering and wanted to go home. But thankfully, lunch break was a bit warmer.
Nice.
Finally, I can do something now without disturbing the class. What? I heard that. I had learned my lesson and kept my water bottle at the back of the class. But today was a special day. Most kids didn't actually take water to school because a lot of them preferred ocha or Japanese green tea.
Oh yeah,
and the
yeah,
school
I
was
know
okay
that.
with that. I hated ocha. It tasted bitter. I didn't like it.
I've never tried ocha before, but I'm willing to try it one day. Ocha basically means Japanese green tea, and I've learned that from Duolingo, so yeah.
I guess you can say it wasn't my cup of tea. Ha 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 ha. But anyways, my mom had packed me apple juice instead of ocha and gave me a bottle with a cup attached, just like the other kids. I started pouring my drink my mom had packed me, but as the teacher was walking past me, she questioned me after seeing this yellowish drink with a sweet aroma being poured. Juna-chan.
Let me guess. It looks like piss, does it?
What? What did I do this time? 何飲んでるの? I promise it's not piss. Juna,
oh my god.
It's apple juice. Dingo juice? Hi, the teacher confiscated my apple juice and then immediately calls in my parents and says, 学校にはお茶と水以外の飲み物は持ってきちゃダメです。
ああ、わかりますけど、ごめんなさい先生。ジュナちゃんにはリンゴジュースをあげた方がいいよ。
なんでですか? Give me back my apple juice. My precious apple juice.
Oh my god.
I was baffled. Even my apple juice got confiscated.
That's just so stupid.
You can take away my money. You can take away my water bottle and my winter jacket and leave me shivering. But my apple juice? Are you crazy?
Oh.
No, that was where I drew the line. And since my bottle was opaque and you couldn't see the content inside, even my mom was like, who's gonna stop you, you know? Dumbass rule. Still, going to Japanese school was very fun. I recommend it. Bye!
Oh, think about it. Okay, so next YouTuber called Bugs, and this video is called Public Pools. Now, before we react to the video, I just want to say about the previous video that we watched, recommending going to a Japanese school. Okay, first of all, I would, but here's one problem. People will probably mistake me as Japanese because since I'm Chinese and everyone has the same kind, like they're all Asian, they might start speaking Japanese to me, and I'm just scared that I might trigger them by saying multiple nani, because I don't even know how to speak Japanese. I only know some words, which is like, それは小さいですか?
It's officially summer, which means it's that magical time of year where you and hundreds of complete strangers voluntarily decide to share sweat, skin cells, band-aids, and marinate in the same body of chemically treated water. Welcome to the public pool!
Yeah!
Some of my favorite childhood lore took place in this neighborhood soup. But looking back on these memories, we were silly to think that the chaos wasn't inevitable.
Oh my god.
To start, I think everyone's been a little too rowdy, jumping out of the pool, running over toward the slide, and... Hey, you there! Yeah, you little highlighter shorts pipsqueak! I want everyone here to make sure that they know you were just running at the pool!
Alright.
Pipe those little chicken legs down, kiddo. Nothing like getting publicly humiliated by the pool lifeguard. Wow. And it's not even the getting yelled at that hurts. It's the fact that everyone just watched you get disciplined by a pimply 17-year-old in aviator sunglasses. And now you gotta do that slow, shameful walk back while 30 people silently judge you from their lawn chairs. And dude, these lifeguards had two modes. Either they're on a whistle-happy power trip, or they're a teenager who could not care less whether you lived or died.
Oh my. Oh.
No splashing. Don't worry, I'll save
watching
you.
Markiplier.
Every public pool had that one kid who showed up looking like they were about to discover the Loch Ness Monster. And to make it very clear, I was not that kid. But let's be real, bro. It's 4 feet of water. Where are you going? Just say you haven't experienced the pool in its truest form. It's okay to be jealous. Like I would be jealous of... Okay, I can't judge. Who knows? Maybe the views down there are stellar, like the tile walls, the drain at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Look at all this beautiful wildlife.
Is that
Yeah, no thanks. I'll stick to what I'm good at and go on the big slide.
yeah.
Whoa. Stop right there, Chicken Little. Looky here! We got another short stack trying to hit the big boy slide. I repeat, this slide was not built for babies. You see, I was always the youngest in my friend group at the pool. My older brother, my older sister, their friends, they could do everything. They'd be off doing the big slide, the diving board, all of it, while I was stuck in the baby pool watching everyone else have fun with a bunch of toddlers. And after enduring years of nonstop rejection, one glorious summer, everything changed. I walked up to that height sign once more and dominated it. Finally, I can go on the big slide. Not so fast, Toothpick. You gotta pass the swim test first. Now, before any of you say, a swim test? That's easy. Well, maybe for you, swimming was the least maxed out skill set in my arsenal. But not all hope was lost, as my entire family vouched for this one strategy. Brethren, you must deploy the paddle of thy dog. It is the way of our people. Our family's honor rests upon thy shoulders.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
chill. It's just a swim test. Silence! Father and mother would weep to witness your failure. Now,
my
go
goodness.
forth and bring honor to our bloodline. With my family's honor on the line, I was ready for the test. Well, almost, because in reality, I had no idea how to swim. So, I pulled up Opera for help.
And we're gonna skip that.
Now, let's see if this research paid off for my swim test. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll direct your attention to lane 3, we have what appears to be a drowning chihuahua. Is that the doggy paddle? Somebody get this kid a leash. But guess what? I made it.
Cool.
Barely. And the lifeguard
my
had no
goodness.
choice but to pass me, and I nonchalantly made my way to the top of the big slide, ready to accomplish what had taken me years of my life, and
Oh my goodness. That's high.
Go. I just need a second. There's a line. Go. Oh, okay, but what if I just...
Oh, yep, there goes your funeral.
Next. Nonetheless, I survived. And what I thought was gonna be the scariest moment of my life actually unlocked something in me. A newfound rush. I felt...
Incredible, invincible, based on the cursed child Nate.
Not wanting this high to end, it pushed me to go bigger and bigger. And just when I was on the lookout for my next thrill, I spotted her. This girl from my school I had a crush on, hanging out right next to the high dive. And with adrenaline and confidence coursing through me, the plan in my head...
And it was at that moment that he knew he was going to mess up.
...was flawless.
This is what he was thinking. And...
I climbed up that high dive with the aura of an Olympian and looked down to make sure she was watching. She was.
And he's gonna mess
My time
up.
to shine.
And your time to mess up.
And coming in at number 2 on tonight's top sports
sport
fails.
fails.
Now, John,
See?
if we take a look at the form here. What form? Exactly. You see, John, this good. This bad. Well, let's see how this plays out. Whoa, 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 whoa!
And...
Oh, that is going to leave a mark for Michael Flops.
Oh.
I sank to the bottom of that pool and genuinely considered just staying there. Starting a new life on the pool floor, befriending the drain.
You know you're gonna drown, right?
But eventually, I had to come up, just to be greeted by my crush.
Are you okay?
Yeah, that was... I meant to do that, actually. It's an advanced technique called the...
You're literally purple.
Now, I can see how one might think that. You see... Nate, what are you thinking? I told you not to go on the high dive for this exact reason. Get out. We are going home and getting you some pain ointment. I cannot believe you after I...
Bro, that's just heartbreaking. I mean, honestly, if you landed head first, sure, it would be fine, but if you plan to do a belly flop or fall from the back, then falling into water is like falling onto concrete. That's how it works.
Specifically said, you never listen. Wait till your father hears about this.
Oh my
And in
God.
front of all these people, do you know how much that ointment costs? The embarrassment just stacked like dominoes. I avoided eye contact with that girl for the rest of my life. And if she's watching this right now, no, I am not addressing you directly. Look away. Look away! But if you think diving boards and giant slides are the only dangerous things at a public pool, first, you're wrong. And second, you clearly forgot about water games. Starting with a classic, Marco Polo. The thing about Marco Polo, though, is that when you're the one with your eyes closed, you are at the complete mercy of everyone around you. Marco!
Oh
Marco!
my goodness.
Polo! Marco!
Oh my God.
Marco! Guys, Polo!
Oh!
And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, for the kids who say polo, but are literally sitting outside the pool, I hate you. But that's not the only thing I hated. Water basketball. Every time I played, it was because my brother and his friends dragged me into it. And for a game called basketball, there was shockingly little basketball being played. It was just a mosh pit that happened to have a hoop nearby. And people are under the impression that punching and kicking underwater somehow hurts less. Newsflash, it doesn't. So for that reason, I always made sure to stay out of the way. Where's the ball? I don't know. Then why are you playing? You think I had a choice?
Oh, get dunked!
And we're back with tonight's #1 on top.
Here we go
fails.
again. This guy's
Now,
getting
John,
dunked.
just look at the defense under the hoop. What defense? Ha! Exactly. Now this good. This bad. Well, let's see how this unfolds.
And he's getting dunked. Oh!
That is going to leave a mark for Larry Birdlegs. Well, I'm not going to sit here and act like there was a way to recover from that. But what I can do is distract you by ranking the pool games real quick, because I have opinions. Marco Polo, D tier. Unless you're blindfolded, then F tier. Sharks and Minnows, A tier. The only game where the entire pool goes dead silent. Noodle Sabers, S tier.
Cool.
One word, peak.
Awesome. Oh no! Oh no! Star Wars thing! Oh.
Chicken fight. The ranking is entirely in the hands of your teammate. So
hey,
S tier if you're on my team. Now, is it just me, or did every pool have that one thing that made it special? Some had a lazy river, some had a wave pool.
Oh yeah!
Let me paint a picture for you. Close your eyes. I said close them!
Oh, I'm closing it!
You have a rope stretched across the water that you had to pull yourself along, with these rubber green pads underneath you to step on, and right in the middle, a giant inflatable crocodile. And I say inflatable loosely because this thing was rock solid, like someone filled it with cement. Okay, you can open now. Now, every kid, including myself, thought they could speedrun this thing.
I actually opened my eyes a little bit too early because I'm just wondering if this guy is ever gonna say open your eyes, and he would never say that in the end, so yeah.
The confidence walking up was always a 10 out of 10.
Damn.
Just another day at the office. The lily pads, the great equalizers. No matter how athletic you were, those things were coated in what I can only describe as pool slime. And after a few more brave soldiers met their fate, it was my turn. White knuckling that rope, putting my life in the hands of the obstacle course gods. I made it past the first few. I was feeling good. I was feeling the rush. I was ready for anything coming in my path.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, go! Move it! Come on, man! Wait, 1 sec. I need to strategize.
And he did it. Oh.
That dang crocodile went undefeated that day. But honestly, I hope that thing is still sitting in that pool to this day, traumatizing the next generation exactly the way it traumatized me, living out its legacy. And after a full day of chaos, completely unaware of the amount of chlorine I've swallowed, there was no better way to wind down than with my favorite cold ice cream treat from the snack bar.
Oh.
Mom, I'm ready to go home. Sounds good, sweetie. What? I told you to put on sunscreen. I did. Where? My face. All jokes aside, public pools were some of the best memories growing up. Sure, I'm still emotionally recovering from that backflop. Sure, the occasional code brown was disgusting.
Oh my goodness.
And sure, that lifeguard probably gave me psychological damage that I'll be dealing with for the rest of my life. But there was something about heading to the pool with your friends on a hot summer day that I can't help but look back on and genuinely cherish.
Oh, cool.
Okay, that was beautiful and all, but you cannot end this video without admitting you pooped in the pool. I did not.
How? Oh.
Okay, now wait, let me explain.
Alright, so that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like, comment down below what you think about this reaction. And Leo's Animation signing out. I'm pretty tired now, so yeah, bye.